So it's 2019 and you looking to buy yourself a flagship phone, the best of the best. You have a choice between these two. So it's January 2019 and you have a choice between two devices, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9 or the iPhone XS Max. Which one would you be choosing? So in this video I would be taking a look at both these devices and how they handle 2026. So let's take a look. Starting off with the design wise, as you can see here, both look so similar, and you may think the Note 9 is slightly bigger, but in terms of display size, this is 6.4 inches versus 6.5 inches on the XS Max. And the colors, this midnight kind of blue color versus the gold on the XS Max. And what I love about this blue color on the Note 9, as you can see, the yellow S Pen. So we'll get to all that in a minute. Let's talk about this aesthetic. Well, the Note 9 has this more like a boxy business look, and this has the, as you can see, the black bars, no notch. Basically it's more like a boxy kind of look, leaning towards that new boxy feel of the newer Samsung, more business like, with the aluminium side rails, the dual camera horizontal layout, and the fingerprint scanner at the back. And with our headphone jack, we do get a headphone jack, our speaker grill, USB-C, our SIM tray there, the earpiece speaker. The iPhone XS Max uses a different kind of build. I mean, if you're comparing the two, this is aluminium side rails. iPhone XS Max uses stainless steel. It's a more, ergonomically rounded feel, rounded look. As you can see, it rounds the edges, corners, whereas the Note 9 has rounded corners, but more like a more boxier kind of look, but the complete round look of the iPhone. Both have glass backs. This is in the gold color with a vertical camera layout, and then we don't have a headphone jack, our power volume rockers, antenna bands, and our SIM tray. But there's no SD card storage on this XS Max, whereas the Note 9 has that and a headphone jack. Talking about the way it feels in the hands, I prefer the way the Note 9 feels, and the Note 9 has this curved edge. Some people don't like it, but I kind of love it. Display curves around the edges, it looks premium. And of course you can see some cracks here. That's a screen protector, unfortunately, on the Note 9, which needs to be replaced. Now let's move on. Talking about displays, both have great displays, Quad HD panels, both made by Samsung. And the thing about it is, how do you feel about the notch versus the full cutout here? I kind of have no issues on both. They both look good, but in my opinion, I prefer this whole black bar instead of the notch. But as you can see here, with the Samsung, we get a bigger chin as compared to Apple, which is with more uniform bezels. In terms of it, as you can see here, there's that notch, and there's the full black layout. So talking about these devices in 2026, the displays, they both look sharp, crisp, in my opinion. The Samsung, in my opinion, I'll take the Samsung display. In my opinion, the colors look great, punchy, but I feel the Samsung is slightly better overall. Not by much, because both are great displays, but for content I would prefer watching on the Samsung than the iPhone. And then Let's move on to performance. Both are kind of smooth in my opinion. They're not the fastest and greatest. They will have a bit of lag, as you can see in this Samsung. It's both capped to 60 Hertz and it's kind of decent. But the iPhone, in my opinion, is also smooth but slightly faster than the Samsung and slightly smoother. Opening apps on the iPhone generally will sometimes loads faster, especially the Instagram app. It loads faster on the iPhone compared to the Samsung. But both move smoothly and most apps are supported on both. The only difference here is the iPhone got newer software updates, whereas the Samsung only got 2 years of software updates. The iPhone went right up to iOS 18, which came out in 2024. So Samsung only went to Android 10, which came out in 2019, 2020. So we only got one UI year 2 versus iOS 18 on this. So in terms of software, the iPhone definitely beats the Samsung. In terms of features, both are kind of similar. I mean, you have a face ID on the iPhone, which works super well. I mean, depending on your lighting conditions, but it works super well. You can use it for contactless payments. As you can see, it unlocked my face and works nicely for day-to-day use. There's no fingerprint sensor, unfortunately. Now, secure face ID you do get on this. Surprisingly, this is the last Samsung to have the iris scanner for facial recognition, and it works well also in my opinion. The intelligent scan with the iris scanner works really well, and I kind of like it in my opinion. And as you can see, it unlocked my phone. So both work well, but I think Face ID is slightly, I mean, maybe faster in terms of the two, but both work well. And with the iris scanning, it makes sure my face has to look into this camera here and scans my irises, which is really great on the Samsung. So for me, I prefer the unlocking of the Samsung with that iris scanner, because even if that fails, I don't have to put a passcode like the iPhone. I have to go put my passcode in. If the facial recognition don't work, I can just put my finger on the back, and as you can see, will unlock the phone just like that. So I prefer Samsung having alternative and more ways to unlock the phone. Moving on, both have the same camera setup, 12 megapixels on both, and we get a bigger battery on the Samsung compared to the iPhone. So 12 megapixel main cameras on both and 12 megapixel 2x telephoto cameras on both. In terms of picture quality, both do a decent job. In my opinion, both aren't going to be the best, so I'm not going to go into a detailed camera comparison. Both can record 4K 60, and both aren't the best now in my opinion in this day and age, but in decent lighting they can take good photos and videos. But if you're a camera videographer and want the best of the best, you'll have to upgrade to a modern phone, preferably a newer Samsung or iPhone. But these can do hold up and can take good pictures when you need them to. Now let's move on to extra features, and I mean something the Samsung just does better than the iPhone. It got a built-in S Pen, and you can write notes, create notes, which is really nice. And the S Pen can be used as a shutter for your camera, so I can place this phone anywhere, and I can use it as a shutter to take a picture just by holding the S Pen button, and that's a great thing to use. And I like using it for notes. Comes in handy. You can use screen off memos when the screen is off, and you can just doodle here, as you can see, and that's great. And as of course there's the camera app, and I can just go to a photo, click the button, and it'll take a photo. As you can see, there's the photo. Of course, it's a black screen, but did take the photo using the S Pen, so I would say credits to that. S Pen works well, great to have on the phone. The things you can do with the Samsung, you can do way more things compared to the iPhone. I mean, you have split screen mode. As you can see, I can open up in split screen, open up in pop-up view. I can do so many things with this. As you can see, split screen. So 2 apps open, split screen, and then I can also open pop-up view. So with my split screen, and then I can even have a pop-up view there. Split screen mode, and I choose that. As you can see, I have 2 apps and my pop-up for the phone call, so I can move this anywhere around. And I want to open it, I can just do that, and then minimize it. I can maximize it. I can even close it. And that's the advantage with Samsung. Another thing is the cameras on the Samsung do actually have more features or more modes. I mean, there's so many modes I can activate on the Samsung as compared to the iPhone camera over here. But generally, you're not going to use all these modes, but it's great to have. Customization is still better on the Samsung. You can customize your icons, everything, move your icons around. Of course, you can do that on the iPhone, but the Samsung is just better for customization. In terms of day-to-day usage, I would say the iPhone is really great for day-to-day usage. I mean, you have more software support on the iPhone, and generally most new apps work on this iPhone. Of course, on the Samsung, all my apps worked fine on that old version of Android, so I had no issues there. But in terms of longevity, I mean, both are great, but the iPhone had more software updates, and I would say maybe more secure due to the fact that it lasted longer. Battery life on both aren't so great in battery life, in my opinion. Day-to-day usage, I found that both you'll have to charge during the day if you have to use it as your personal phone. Both are bad. The iPhone's battery health is sitting very low in the 70s, so it will definitely need a replacement. But in terms of battery life, which one lasted longer than the other? For me, I would say the iPhone slightly lasted longer, but the 4000 mAh battery on this, if I do a battery replacement, then I on both devices, then I can properly tell you which one. But I would generally think the Samsung might last slightly longer if I do a battery replacement. But since the batteries are bad on both, for this experience I had, the iPhone lasted slightly longer. Now moving on, what makes this iPhone then stand out over that Galaxy? Besides the more years of software update, video recording, that's one thing the iPhone does better than the Samsung. Samsung has a great video recording. I mean, for its time, back in the day, this was great. But I mean, when you use an iPhone video recording, just feel on this phone feels more smoother than the way I can shake my hands like this. And if I look back at this video, it's really smooth in my opinion than as if I had to record with the Galaxy, the same video and do the same thing. And as you can see here, the iPhone just feels a bit more slightly smoother than the Galaxy did. So in video recording, I give it to the iPhone. The iPhone comes with that Apple polish. I mean, of course, you can't do much with iPhone customization as compared to the Samsung, but the way the software is polished, it feels, and even I feel it runs decent on this phone. Not the latest, but iOS 18 runs decent on this phone. I have not gotten into any issues with it. Apps work fine, open fast, and they are smooth. I mean, the way the iPhone is kind of smooth, in my opinion. Samsung is smooth, but it's slightly, that polish is just a bit lacking compared to the iPhone. For the color options, I love this gold color. This gold color, I feel, looks better than the Samsung, in my opinion. The layouts, it's personal preference, what you prefer. I like how Samsung made this layout, but no camera, like this hump is not big as compared to the iPhone's camera hump. If I'm sitting here, I can use both flat down with no issues. I don't have to worry about rocking so much as compared to a newer Samsung or a newer phone where rocking is apparent. So for getting my day-to-day tasks, we have Bixby and we have Siri on the iPhone. Siri is great to get day-to-day tasks. Bixby is not so good, but I can change this to Google Assistant and have Google Assistant, which is much better. But Bixby has this own dedicated button, which I don't like. You cannot remap it or program it. And do I use the voice assistant on both? Not really much, but both can get the jobs done. Which phone is better from the two? If I had to choose or pick one, well, I would choose the Samsung, in my opinion, just for that customization. Not just customization, the more feature packed, and I mean the always on display. That's one thing we got here on the Samsung, which you won't get on the iPhone. The always on display, which is great. And just the way the Samsung has the S Pen, it has the SD card slot, it has a headphone jack. So that's why I would give it to Samsung. But for those of you that like iPhone, why is the iPhone better? You get more years of software updates, that polish Apple gives you. And performance wise, I found the iPhone to be really smooth. As the Samsung was smooth, I found sometimes apps open faster on the iPhone, and you're getting much newer versions of the apps on the iPhone which are supported, and just the polish of the iPhone, and slightly better battery life on the iPhone due to the fact that my batteries are both bad on both these phones. Overall, back in the days, you are getting great devices. I mean, the iPhone was slightly more expensive than the Note 9, but nothing really over the top, slightly prices dependent on what ecosystem you used. And the thing about the iPhone, you can link it up to your MacBook. You can use it as AirDrop between the two, which is seamless. On the Samsung, you can do Samsung Dex, which is really great in my opinion. You can control your phone or use your phone on your computer screen or TV screen, wherever, and it does support the wireless Dex mode, so that's great. And we do get Samsung's quick share, so you can also basically quick share to other devices. And overall, both are great devices. Just depends what's your budget, and if you have to choose between the two, depending on your budget, for me it will be the Samsung, but for some of you it will be the iPhone. So that's my review of these two devices. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next video.